Hello, how you guys doing? I'm doing all right myself. Just kind of waking up and getting into it. Trying to get into the habit of walking my wife to work. A, makes me feel a little bit better about like her walk there, a little bit safer, but also B, just like getting my legs moving. Like I need to get out and move some because like turns out physical was not yesterday. Physical is going to be on like Halloween or Halloween Eve or something. So it's going to be a minute. So I have some time to like go and get some fresh air, walk around, stuff like that. We did our little walk around date that she wanted to do, where we looked at like the really old buildings around here and looked at the brickwork, and she's gonna use that as ideas for like knitting and crochet cabling, you know. She's incredibly talented with that stuff. I don't get how it works, but she does. So I was talking to her the other day about this this thing I saw about someone who is like, you could, so stitching in crochet and knitting, it comes down to purls and knits. There are two types of like movements. I'm gonna husband explain to y'all, which is like me doing my best to understand something my wife has told you or told me to be able to tell y'all. So I'm husband explaining. It's like an adjacent. It's like mansplaining, but replaced with like more. I love my wife. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Ego. How you doing, man? How's your birthday been? All that jazz. That's good. That's good. But I was reading this thing the other day and it was saying that because like knit and crochet both like only have like two different types of stitches that you can do, that you could like knit or crochet in binary, and so you could knit or crochet doom. And I told her about that and she was like, that sounds like a fun project. And then I was like, well, hold up, how many lines of like that is that? Also, how do you decide when a like row ends? Or do you just make a rope? Like, at some point you have to like go down to the VTubers have no eyebrows. Iron Mouse. Very, very thin. Like pencil thin eyebrows on her, but yeah, okay. Alright. Now we're gonna look at some VTubers real quick to see if you're on some shit or not. But check this out. First off, there's a lot of weird stuff on here. Main screen turn on. Alright, so Iron Mouse eyebrows detected. Alright. Lima-licious. Fan art. There we go. Well, here's her actual model. She has eyebrows too. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Some do. Why is there a slime girl? Because slime-malicious? I'm gonna assume it's because it's slime-malicious. Yeah, I feel like you kind of need eyebrows to emote. What is this? Oh, no. Nekopara, bro. All right, anyway. Yeah, so there's that. Things that I've been doing, I've been looking, I found a video on YouTube, or a video series that is read by a guy who, It's a tech video. It's the Godot documentation as a YouTube video series, and holy shit, it is the most boring ass shit I've ever listened to in my life, but it's very helpful. So that has been a lot of my weekend, is like looking into that, fixing the last few drawings for the communist manifesto, and I feel like that is for the most part done. I think it's ready to go. But it still feels a little bad, you know, like I'm still a little like but like at some point, yeah, I've just got to let it go. And I think it's going to be a day one like patch to like fix all the graphics and such, and then I just let it do its thing unless if there's some sort of error or something. I'm excited for it to release. I'm scared of its release because of what it could mean, or what it could not mean. I looked at a bunch of stuff that talked about Godot nodes. I went ahead and saved that for later. 5 awesome Godot. Here, I'm just gonna like play it for 5 seconds, and that way it's in my watch history, and I'll look at it later. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I fixed the faces. I think that I just need to accept that this is gonna be like a $5 Steam game, and just let it go. You know, like But I've been looking at some Godot stuff, and some of it's very confusing. So since Rattler is here, I'm going to ask them a couple of questions. A large group of... what if Tucker Carlson does a segment about the Communist Manifesto? I will absolutely go on Tucker Carlson to tell him what I think about the Communist Manifesto and himself, if he wants to invite me on. If Tucker Carlson hears this, hit me up, man. Like, just DM me. Fear of the questioning? No, it's not that big of a deal. It's just like, I think that whoever made that card game thing kind of did a bad job at it. Or I don't understand something, is more specifically what the problem is. I'm going to give you a full screen region, so that way you don't have to like... All right, so here's what I'm looking at. There's a lot of shit here. But what I've noticed is class name card drop zone extends control. So control is another document somewhere, right? What the fuck is control? This is not a thing that's in here. Control doesn't exist. It's another class. From where? Where did you get it? Where did you get that? Because like this... Control is a base type. Right click and find it. Look up symbol. Oh, that's why I couldn't find a document in his documentation about it, because it's a base fucking Godot thing. All right, that's easy. Sorry about that. I was just very confused about the thing. But hey, check this out. I did a little bit of work on the game, and it can do this cool thing. Check it out. I'm walking by. What? Look. Walking past this pot. Look at this pot. I'm walking past it. Look at me walking past this pot. You see it? What if I tried to run into the pot? Oh, we can't? Oh, we can't? Because oh, I can't run into the building either. Because there's a hitbox on the bottom part of my model, but not on the top part. So I can kind of overlay a bit. This is the thing I was trying to... The doorway doesn't have a hitbox because I decided not to make one. Hooray! I was also thinking that, like, when I'm programming this, I essentially can program 2 different games. I'm gonna, yeah, let's close out of this. I don't know as if Godot is... Apparently, people are actually enjoying the Godot programming stuff, but, or at least the art stuff, for it. Let's see, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, so what I was thinking is I can actually, like, essentially make 2 games at the same time. So the elements of a fishing game with no fish, which I'm just gonna I'm just calling it no fish right now. Okay, so I can essentially make 2 different games, right? So there's the one game that's like the card game, you know, the main fishing mechanic, right? That's like all of the stuff that's like how to play Go Fish and all the different effects that go on with that, as well as like how the different rods and bait and all that jazz affects it. And then while this is being updated and like I'm like pushing updates to this, just this card game thing, where basically you start off in your house and you can't go outside, and like all you can do is go fishing and change out your rod and your equipment and stuff. So basically it becomes just a roguelike with no real point. And then over here I can separately be programming plot elements, right? All the walk arounds. Hey, Clown Pubes. The walk around stuff can be programmed over here. So we can program this shit on stream. We can do the art assets for this shit over here. The walk around stuff, right? And then once like I'm done doing the art, I'm done programming all the plot and all that jazz. Like if this is just going to be like JSON files and shit, I can just like slam this bitch in there. I slam this bitch into the walk around game, and then the game releases because that's just what the game is. So like No Fish releases super duper early, like within the next couple of months with this, and then I work on all this shit by myself. Well, sort of. I think that doing the art on stream would be good. I think that would be fine. So basically just have like, because this is like kind of almost its own thing, it can be its own thing. Set up the card game to be a function and just call the card game whenever it's due to be used. Right. And when I'm working on this, I can just have like a you win button. And so I can just skip all of that. Just have people test the card game by, you know, pushing updates, making it interesting enough that people want to play. I mean, I think it... Do you have the card game made already? No. And that's a thing I need to do. And the problem with the card game that I've got right now, like the pre-built one that someone's made, is it's not that bad. I think a lot of it is fixable. It is like, I want to say like 90% of the way of where I want it to be. Here, let's go ahead and open current scene. All right, so cool. So this is what it does. So it's, first off, this is weird. Like the screen region is super duper wrong, but this is really just to show you that the mechanics work. There's a fanning hand that exists here. Currently there's no set for being able to draw from the same thing to have a separate hand, but the thing is, with the other hand, we don't actually need to like display that many graphics. Like we just need like the backs of them to appear, right? Yeah, I mean, like, it wouldn't be that hard to just, like, slam a scene or a class or a function or whatever the fuck I'm gonna use to make the card game. Just, instead of it skipping that element, have it actually have that element on the card game thing. Yeah, like, literally just, like, make it skip a routine or something. Have, like, a button that auto spawns in shit. Or skips elements. But yeah, because this doesn't have like a second hand, and I'm not entirely sure if it's aware of what's in its hand. Like, it doesn't actually read the information of what this stuff is up until you interact with it, which I guess is how you would do that. It's interesting. And that's kind of where I'm at with this, is like, now that I know control is its own bitch, like, I can read over this and actually maybe understand it. Also, okay, so when I was listening to stuff about documentation and code stuff, is this, when you do variables, don't you want to, like, set if it's an int or whatever? Like, it's good practice, you don't have to, but it's, like, good practice to, right? Because, like, are these strings or what? Depends. Well, I mean, like, you don't have to tell it that it's... I don't know how Godot script works, so I don't know if it cares. It's more of just, like, the guy who was explaining it is like, if you ever change how this works, then it's going to confuse the shit out of you. And it's going to confuse... Like, so I guess it's, like, not required, but, like, it will... I don't know, it's just, like, a variable can be anything until you tell it what it isn't. Or until it is. Don't worry about it until it breaks something. That's probably a safe bet. Okay, so, yeah, I need to probably just tear this code apart. And, yeah, you want the code to be self-descriptive. So, okay, so you don't have to worry about doing that then. He's doing it in GD script, the guy I'm listening to. It's very dry. It's so incredibly dry. But it seems more like fundamentals of programming, less about how to use Godot. Right? I figure out what the name of this thing is, and that way we can go there. Because I think other people might find this video interesting, or this series interesting. Let's see, liked your videos history. Here we go. Let's see, interactive music. It's called Godot Tutorials, and I've gotten all the way to 4 loops, and I never understood why it was called 4. And programming makes a lot more sense when you realize that whoever was setting up the programming languages in the first place was trying to, like, make it sound like playing English, but they just fucked up somewhere. Because it should be, like, pretty easy for, you know, if something's happening, then do this, else stop. Like, that's a normal sounding sentence. And then you've got something like, I don't know, 4. It's like, what is this supposed to do? Well, it's do it this number of times. And it's like 4, F-O-R, 4, right? I get it. I get it now. Do it for this many times. It's simple shit, but, like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So that I mean, it's been a good tutorial on that you know, thing. Being able to learn just how each of these things are supposed to be used. There's a lot of cool, like, stuff in Godot that, like, seems like cool graphical stuff, like the ability to use parallaxing. One thing that I wish Godot would do, and I don't know if it does, but like I'm working on making models for my dude, right? Like guys. So right, I couldn't get the angle right for his movement because I know I want him to like wobble rather than just like walk, because if he just walks, it's just going to be like Minecraft Steve walking, you know? Like the wobble where you get to see a little bit of like having him like have a waddle gives him a lot more character, even though like this is very early. But then I'm trying to see if a fella of this size would work. So here's the little fella, and this would be just his like idle bouncing animation. Drawing it really sketchy here, but I figure I should probably actually draw it better. But this canvas is fucking massive. And it seems like you can only do Godot stuff in like a tile thing. Like you can't do Godot, like I couldn't paint a picture and have that display as one thing, really. It's like fecal raid. Hey, thank you for the raid, Yul. Talking about video games. I don't think I sent Yul a thing to see if he wanted to play my game. My first one. We're talking about the second one. First one comes out on the 30th. Word on the street is you have a fat cock? I do, actually. How was his stream? Was he watching the Nintendo Direct stuff? Well, my first game is coming out. Can we just, how about I just pull up the trailer? Here, give me half a second and I'll pull you the, I mean, you guys have been watching the trailers for a bunch of different shit recently, so why don't I just pull you a trailer for my thing? Yeah? Here, hold on. I'll give you that. The Rev Direct. Do I have to, like, come out on stage like an asshat? Like, I really have to do, like, I have to do something really stupid. I have to be like, hi. You know, innovation. I feel like that we're doing a really big thing here, and we're coming back to what makes gaming, gaming. And that's bringing power to the player, where it's, I'm sorry, I used to work at GameStop. I'm used to phrases like that. Anyway, why don't I, power to the player. They got rid of that, I think. I think they just, like, straight up got rid of that along with, their, whatever that was, the magazine. No one wanted the magazine. How many subs to pay for your GameStop therapy? Well, I went to therapy for the better part of a year, and about like half of that was probably related to having to work retail. So I don't know, maybe like a few $100. The magazines no one wanted. I would give them the magazine and be like, I don't really want that. And it's just like, bro, come on. All right, I can't get the thing to work the way I wanted to, so I'm just gonna open it up in here. All right, cool. There we go. All right. Let's see. There we go. All right. All right. This is my game. It's coming out on the 30th. I've been updating some of the graphics offline, but I hope you enjoy this. Rattler, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Vowel Movement, thank you for the gift sub. Y'all are great. Thank you so much. Captus, thank you for the year of support. Holy shit. All right, here we go.
Comrade. communist manifesto. Domi non gomi adventure. Arara.
It's actually on Steam. You can go and wishlist it. If anyone's wondering why the Communist Manifesto, because it doesn't have any copyright. You can actually sense the moment that I came up with this idea. Like, you can, like, there, because I was streaming when I actually came up with the idea, you can actually see the actual moment. Do you want to see the moment where I was like, oh, I just had a stupid fucking idea? Let me find it real quick. I'm not sure if I can find it quickly, but, yeah, we were talking about, like, programming shit, and I was like, well, you know, I'd have to find something that was, like, royalty free, right? Like, did not have a, let's see. Rev has not seen a fox in space? No, I have not. Let's see. I mean, like, yeah, there's, like, it's literally just the Communist Manifesto because it meant that I didn't have to write anything. You know? It's public domain. That's why I picked it, because it's public domain. I mean, I could have picked something like Dracula, but then I would actually have to, like... I mean, I guess I could have just done Dracula, but it's, like, a vampire with huge tits. But, like, okay, hold on. Let's be real. Like, a retelling of Dracula, but Dracula has massive baps. That actually sounds kind of fucking hot. I'm not going to be real. Like, I'm kind of fucking down with that shit. It's, you know, real. Like... Honestly, vampires? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Bapula probably already happened, right? So it's got to be something that no one would ever do. Something that's stupid as shit. And I was like, the communists didn't copyright claim me when I did that ASMR video about them. So let's go. So that's where I'm at with it. And that's why I came up with it. I don't know if I can find the video. I thought I could easily. But now we're either going to do like Cobalt Core or we're going to do some more programming. Got to go real far back in order to find... Is that it? Is it really making the communists... Okay, not giving... Yeah, chat's not ever getting the aux cord again because last time I let you guys pick music, you guys picked worst shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. Like, I love you guys, but holy shit. Also, thank you for the raid, y'all. I'll give you a copy of the game. What do they pick? Just like weird experimental shit. Yeah, I don't know what VOD it is, but in one of these VODs, there was like a moment where I'm actually just like, what the fuck? Did you find it? This is the moment of truth. Let's see. It's somewhere before I start drawing. You take your 75, I take minus my 25, and your chance for... I thought it was this $100 direct fee every time. It's somewhere around here anyway. That it's in here, and I start saying, oh, I have a really stupid idea. I have a really stupid idea, and I won't stop saying I have a really stupid idea. But it's in that VOD somewhere. Just chatting, then making games. So how much is the game? The game's gonna be like $5 on Steam. It's, you know, it's literally just the Communist Manifesto, but I drew some tits. And you can look at them instead of looking at the Communist Manifesto if you'd like. If you click really fast, she'll make a lot of sounds because I paid someone to make anime MILF sounds. Turns out you can actually like just hire someone to do that online. It's astoundingly easy to find someone. So that was great. Best $25 I've spent. Yeah, I spent about like $200 in order to get this game on Steam, and not to mention like hours of my time. God, I wish I could get paid to make anime MILF sounds. You can. mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that anyone would want to, but like you could put yourself up there on like Fiverr, be like, hey, I can make anime MILF sounds. And when they go, hey, I would like some of those anime MILF sounds, you just go, Ara, Ara. You could just do it real bad, and they'd be like, what the actual fuck? You sound like some guy from Wisconsin. You know? Or join that. Yeah, I mean, if you go to, if you actually want to be a MILF, it's mostly about big tits. I'll be real with you, I think. But yeah, you know. All right, don't you know? Oh yeah. Do that. Oh yeah, our chant. Fucking what the hell is that? All right. Let me go ahead and like power cycle the people on YouTube, and we'll do some Cobalt Core. How's that sound? Anyone can get big tits. True. You found it? Okay, Orthogonal found it. Do you wanna go ahead and link it and I'll show? That was quick. It's like fairly quick, like early in there. What's the next public domain literature visual novel MILF circuit? Well, people wanted me to add other characters to it. Like, you know, thank you, Orthogonal. They wanted me to add like Sterner and Rand and stuff, and it's like they didn't write free shit. So I actually have to like actually write real words. That'll take time. So it looks like with Rinpy, I can just like make shit. Like I could write out lines of dialogue in like a Google Doc and then just copy paste that over, especially if I'm doing a kinetic novel. And I would have to like, you know, make it so that way it would fit on the screen properly, but like here it comes. I mean, I just had a fucking stupid idea. There it is. There's the moment. That's the exact moment that I was like, what if the Communist Manifesto? Because I've already used it once in, there's like a ASMR Communist Manifesto ASMR haircut. Ghost of communism. RevScarecrow. Yeah, here it is. Nice Magic the Gathering. Yeah, I like Magic the Gathering shit. I don't actually like.
Okay. First things first. I gotta hit a tender.
So to be clear, this video is your barber stress eats to ignore his communist ghost wife. And it was just like, what if I made a video out of just whatever ASMR content exists on YouTube that they are okay with me remixing?
Played with it is so good. We're not in the perfect scenario, but
it's just like little bits of the Communist Manifesto. Yeah, the Household Objects game was announced a bit ago, I feel like. It looks like kind of gimmicky. I don't think you can write like a fairly decent story with, I mean, like it's ambitious, but I'm not interested, you know? Like, oh, what, you fucked the lamp? Good job. I mean, it's meme territory, but I don't know if it's like, is that going to be good beyond like the concept? Similar to the Communist Manifesto. Like, I don't think that you could get much story out of that. And I feel like that it would be one of those, like, part of me feels like it's gonna be like Dream Daddy, where it's just gonna be kind of like, who is this for someone? Like, is this good? Have you programmed before making this? A little bit. I used to program stuff on Palm Pilots, which is what business people used to use, and what friendless virgins used to play with as children in their free time. Was their aunt's hand-me-down Palm Pilot. So there's that. Also did I do Palm Pilot preservation. What? Yeah, no, I was doing stuff on the original Palm Pilot series that was black and white, and then I moved over to color once I had the ability to do so. I had like books about it, and I was like, wow, I'm actually surprised that they would buy my book. Well, before we left, I sold that book, and they bought it at half price books. You can go to the one on well, I mean, it may or may not be there, but there's a bunch of books that I sold. So if you want old shit of mine, go to the one on, I think it's on, God, what is that? Is it Congress, maybe? Can you run Doom on it? Yes, you can actually run Doom on a Palm Pilot. I ran GTA on it, like the first GTA, and that was okay as a, like, you know, game. It wasn't like the full thing. He said he was going to finish it, and then he never did. Because that's just kind of how you got games back in the day, is you just downloaded shit off of downloads.com, and then the console, like the little like console, like the run console would just like pop up. Like that's how you know, like when you have the command prompt pop up for like 5 seconds then close, you're like, everything's fine with my computer, I'm sure. Oh my god, you actually do preserve. Oh my god, it's all of these Palm Pilot games. Holy shit. You're real. You actually do Palm Pilot preservation. Oh man, there was this one game that was fucking banger. For the Palm Pilot, and it was a first-person shooter that was multiplayer on one fucking Palm Pilot. It was the coolest design because it was like, obviously that has design issues, but it was so well done. I hope you can find it. I do not remember what it's called, but it was color. Is this a good time to ask what a Palm Pilot is? I mean, I always spelled it P-A-L-M, but this is what a Palm Pilot is. It's a personal digital organizer. I had this one, I think I had this exact one, maybe, or one very similar to it. And then I had, I believe I had this one and that one, or one that looked very similar to it. My first one was black and white, looked like this, and the second one was color, and it could run like sort of games. It was like this. Yeah, it was like this one, very small. They can't do a lot, but you could, you know, write on it. It was sort of like, I mean, phones kind of just do this shit now. Like, you don't really need to, like, have this antiquated technology for this shit anymore. Is there any way to stream the games? I mean, maybe actually with this. But the game, the way the first-person shooter would work is like you had a set amount of time segments that you would use. So like while you would move, it would use up some of your like momentum. I don't really know how to describe it. Like, but then once you used up all your momentum, sort of like in games that like you could walk a certain distance and then it stops you, like almost like Baldur's Gate. You know, when you walk somewhere, your character can only walk so far and then stopped. It was like that. You would just move your character around like a first-person shooter, and you maybe even take a shot or two. And then like as soon as a certain amount of set time, it was like a turn-based first-person shooter, but in real time. You would take your like 30-second turn or whatever, and then your opponent would take a 30-second turn. It was really cool, man. Like XCOM, not at all. No. Like you would have 30 seconds to make your moves. And then your opponent would have 30 seconds, and it would play a file of what your 30 seconds that you just did was. I don't know how it worked as far as like how does this determine what they do, but I think everyone starts just far enough away from each other that it worked. It was cool. It was a really cool system, and it was a really cool way of having a first-person shooter on a thing. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, one of the main issues that I've got with Godot right now is that I don't know how to make it so that way it's not tile-based. But I think I just have to deal with the fact that it's tile-based and stop being a bitch. I was hoping I could just kind of like have several massive canvases like this, because this is like double 1080p, whatever 2 times 1080p is. 3840 by 2116. Of course it is. And that's pretty big, and obviously it's going to be zoomed in to the point that this character looks good. I think you can switch that in the project settings when you do a new project. I see. I saw y'all talking on the Discord, so yay, welcome. Outlaws, thank you for the 32 months of support. I do want to do some Godot stuff, but like I don't know. I kind of also want to play some Cobalt Core. So let's play some Cobalt Core. I'm gonna flick the switch. Sorry, keep saying I'm gonna do that and then I don't. Coffee will hit me eventually. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Bop, bop.